In November 2015, work started on our new purpose-built unit to bring our cancer outpatient services together in one place. Now, patients are receiving treatments in an environment that matches the top quality care given by our dedicated colleagues. As part of a £2.5 million fundraising campaign from Macmillan Cancer Support, there was an incredible £1.5 million donation from the National Garden Scheme. This was recognised in the building itself, which was renamed the NGS Macmillan unit. Here's the Chief Executive of NGS to tell us more.
I think the motivation for us to contribute such a large amount of money was for a number of reasons, really. We've supported Macmillan for just over 30 years now with annual donations, but in the past it's very much been on the basis of an annual donation. To date, that amount now totals over £16 million. So this is a partnership that's immensely important to everybody at the National Garden Scheme. And I think one of the other things is that the idea of a permanent presence that was going to make a very substantial impact in one of the areas of the country was an important consideration for us, because this is something that will be here serving Chesterfield and the North East Derbyshire community for many years to come, and I think having our name linked to that is something that we'll all be very proud of, and of course it will help us raise awareness of our charity and what we do at the same time.
Well, the timing of that NGS donation was really fantastic. I think it came at a time when the campaign had already been established, and the size of it, I think, meant that many of the people, both within the organisation and outside of it, thought, actually, with that donation, then actually this appeal is really doable. And from my perspective, I think we saw a surge of donations and also events and initiatives of people doing. We're very excited about that relationship with NGS. I think having a single major donor like that allows you to develop a long-term relationship with them, and that's what we very much hope to do. I think also just the very nature of the fact that it is NGS and it's outdoors and it's gardens and it's growing things and it's life. I think that link with a cancer centre like this is a really positive one, and it makes us think very much about that outside environment in which we also want to do some further work in developing the facilities for patients. So we're absolutely delighted to have the NGS donation and delighted to have their name associated with the unit.
NGS, so National Garden Scheme, were able to donate £1.5 million towards the Macmillan appeal here, and I think it's just amazing to have a donor of such size, and it really transforms the appeal. We're so grateful to the National Garden Scheme for their contribution, and from just looking around today we can really see the difference it's making to people affected by cancer in the Derbyshire area, so we're hugely grateful. So today was the first time I looked around the unit after seeing a couple of photos and sort of artist's impression. And the first thing I was really struck by was the size of it and the space, and also the kind of calm and non-clinical environment. And I think it's amazing how patient-centric the whole unit is, which I'm sure will be so amazing to be a patient here, coming from what's quite a cramped and drawn out kind of different services across the hospital currently. So that really struck me coming here today. It's absolutely extraordinary.
Never having seen the building before and seeing it for the first time today, I'm absolutely amazed. I think it's a really wonderful achievement. We've been sort of involved with the scheme now for getting on for 3 years since our, the sort of early conceptual stage, and a lot of us have been longing to see what it was going to look like, because this was a major project for us. And I think one of the things that fascinated me is the way in which patients' considerations, what patients really wanted, has been taken into account, and the way it's been planned and the way the rooms sort of linked together. And I think you can see that in that way it's a very modern, contemporary building. And I think one of the other things that really fascinates me is when you go upstairs to the treatment room, having a view like that over the landscape, and there's so much evidence now that even having a view into a green space rather than a built-up space is incredibly beneficial for all kinds of patients. That sort of detail is really important. And it's for us particularly exciting because this is our 90th anniversary, and 1927 the first few gardens opened around the country, and they raised £8,000 for nursing, and 90 years later we've raised a total of over 50 million for nursing, and this is sort of visible evidence of what we've been able to do for people, which is for us, it makes us very proud.